Hey guys, today we're heading to the Midwest as I take you along on a spontaneous visit to Dalí Alive 360. This visit wasn't originally in my itinerary, but I decided to check it out, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint. Before checking into my hotel room, I stopped at Plat 99, which was located inside of the Alexander Hotel. Here I am giving you guys a quick little tour of my room. One of the coolest things about the Alexander is that it doubles as a mini art museum featuring pieces from local artists and also international ones. So even staying here felt like it was part of the experience. What exactly is Dalí Alive 360? It is an immersive experience celebrating the life and creative genius of Salvador Dali. Now, I'm being honest with you guys. Before this, I had no idea who Dali was, but I'm always open to discovering more artists and expanding my list. So that's exactly what I loved about this exhibit. It introduces you to artists in an engaging and immersive way with the use of multisensory enhancements. You're not just looking at still paintings, so you're stepping into their world. And for someone like me who's just beginning to explore art more deeply, it was the perfect entry point. One thing I really loved about this experience was the laid back vibe. So everyone was just chilling, like taking it all in. And honestly, all I was missing was a glass of wine and a little charcuterie board, which would have made this a chef's kiss. I consider this experience versatile, meaning I could totally see myself doing this solo, bringing a date, or even with family and kids. So it's interactive, it's thought provoking, and it sparks real conversations. In my opinion, Dolly's art is eccentric in its own way. It focuses on surrealism, which brings together the real world and also the dream world. And together, it pulls you into a state of questioning your own reality. The way the exhibit is set up, it gave us a peek not only into his creative mind, but also into his life story. So, his roots being in Spain and also his time in America and how those places have influenced his work. We get to see it right in front of us on these moving screens. One of Salvador Dali's most famous pieces of art was titled The Persistence of Time, and it illustrates the relativity of times and the power of the subconscious mind. It's more than just this concrete linear concept, so it's very thought-provoking for the viewers. And also, I noticed that Dali likes to paint a lot of eggs, and I had to look up what was the reasoning for this. And I saw that it represents hope, birth, and love for him. So that's very interesting. So I love finding just little pieces and things that artists do to make their art stand out from others, and also things that make you want to learn more about it. Outside of the main art screens, there are also dedicated spaces that felt more like a traditional museum exhibit, giving you deeper insight on Dali's background, his inspirations, and his life story. They also have a gift shop inside of there as well. I've seen these immersive experience advertised before, but this was my first time ever trying it myself. Here are some complaints and also my take on this. So I know some people complain about the resolution of the images, but I didn't see any problem with the resolution. I thought it was very clear, very nice, very sharp. And sometimes I hear that these places can get crowded just depending on what time you go. And yeah, I didn't have, as you can see in these images, there was hardly any crowd. So it gave us enough space to move around, to engage with others if we wanted to. So I guess the time that we went was a really good time. I didn't notice any other seating besides floor seating. So that was one thing that I felt could be a little inconvenient. I personally didn't mind sitting on the floor, but I know some people would prefer seating to be available to them, especially if you're going to spend time there for longer periods of time. So that was probably my only downside about this exhibit. Right outside of the museum, there's also a peaceful little garden space, and I actually got free access to this with the museum tickets that we had. So it was very nice, very calming. It felt like I was like hiking somewhere, and I just absolutely love hiking. So definitely a plus. So, was my $15 ticket worth it? In my opinion, absolutely. But you do have to get a ticket to the entrance of the art museum. So, in total, the whole museum plus the Dolly experience was around $44. So, I would definitely not take a big family with me because that would be out of my budget, but definitely for solo or like if you go with a date, it wouldn't completely break the bank. You get entry into the museum, you get entry into the Dalí Alive exhibit, and also the garden. And I will leave you guys with this. We are all artists in our own way, And it's just that some of us are brave enough to put our imagination on display, no matter how taboo, eccentric, or controversial it might be. That is what art is all about, expressing yourself even when it feels raw, uncut, or misunderstood. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey. I am signing off and I will see you in the next one. Bye.